The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Trader's Edge with Steve Rhodes. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. The Trader's Edge. Now, Steve Rhodes.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to the February 10th, otherwise known as the fantastic Friday edition of today's Trader's Edge Show. I'm your host, Stevie Perseverance Rhodes, who absolutely knows that each of us should always be pioneers of our future versus prisoners of our past. Hope everyone out there is having a great day. And let's make sure we have an extraordinary one. And the easiest way to do that is to always remember that life is happening for us, not to us. That's right. When you and I make that one little 2x4 shift, it means we can find the gift in every set of circumstance that life is going to toss at us. Now, today, you and I, we're going to go check on the circumstance of these markets. We'll go figure out what those bulls and bears, what those buyers and sellers are communicating to you and I at just past 11 o'clock in the morning. I'm absolutely grateful for your presence here. But more important than that, and that's this. During this next 53 minutes, I'm here to serve you. So feel free to pick up that phone. We'd love to hear from you at 877-927-6648. Now, if you have a question but you can't call in, go ahead and send me an email. For that, send that to steve@tfnn.com. And if you'd be kind enough in that subject heading to put radio show question, that would be great. And of course, if you're inside our Tiger's Den, well, any ping will do. Whether it's a private or a public, we'll take them all. So let's go ahead and get this show started on Fantastic Friday. Of course, this is Tiger Financial News Network. I'm Steve Rhodes. Welcome to the show. Right now, we got a mixed bag out there. The mix coming from the Dow and the New York Stock Exchange, both trading higher, 0.2%. Otherwise, you got the other U.S. indices trading lower. Now, the S&P is flat. The Nasdaq 100 down 0.6% at 72 bucks. The Russell's off 0.1%. That's basically 1.5%. 1.5% for the semis, 46. So we got a mixed bag. Gold is down $8, $6. Which I can see. Silver's off 4 pennies. Lights crude up $1.53. Natural gas up 3 cents in the 30-year Treasury. Printing out at 127.05. That's off 23 ticks. If we take a look at what's moving to the upside, it's O'Reilly Automotive up $22, 2.7%. Followed by Murphy USA. That's $15, nearly 6%. $13 for Motorola Solutions, 9.5% basically. Enphase Energy up 8 and change. That's up 4%. We take a look at what the shakers are. That would be Booking Holdings off $79, a little over 3%. Mercado Libre down $32, 2.7%. Monolithic Power Systems, $13, 2.5%. Lam Research, $12, 2.5%. And Neighbors Industries down about $11 at 6% move to the downside. Oh, we can't forget Oshkosh, by gosh, Corporation. That's off 11%. That's down $11.50. So let's begin with, what do we want to begin with? Let's begin by taking a look at, to remind ourselves where we at with regard to the equity futures, price levels to be watching and observing. So if you take a look at the ES Mini made its way back to the support area of its bullish structured profile. And that's the center of the box. It's really between the bottom and the center. Those levels are between 40.27 and 40.67. So not until price closes below 40.27 would we have a change in trend signal out here. What you and I know as of this moment is ES Mini has held a key level of support. Well, so too has the Dow equity future contract. Instead of going to the right, we're going to go down. We take a look at the down arrow. That's the Dow equity future contract, trading within a fairly narrow range, 33,716. That's your support level at 34,179. Now, look, your price closes below the bottom of that profile. You still are trading, or it is trading between trendline support and trendline resistance. Now, back up to the NQ. The NQ, if it closes today below 12,408.50 to be exact, which is the top of its daily profile, that could be signaling to you and I a further retracement. And that further retracement back to its bullish structured profile areas, that's between 11,975 and 12,083. And finally, if we take a look at the Russell 2000, trading back inside, closed back inside its profile yesterday. Counter trend moves typically find support at 1923. Yesterday's close was 1924. So today, if you close back above 1923, a key level of support will have held. And if it doesn't, well, maybe price is going to tag the bottom of that profile at the 1896 level. So that's what I see. We take a look at the daily time frame charts for the 4 equity future contracts. Let's go switch over and take a look at the intraday panel, see what they're communicating to you and I. Momentarily, we'll have 8 panels up on your screen. The upper left is going to be the daily time frame. No reason for us to talk about that any further. If I take a look at a 5-hour time frame chart out here, what we will see is that the S&P so far, now this candle here closes, this is the 5-hour chart, this candle closes at 2 o'clock. So we won't know till 2 o'clock. But if it is a bullish reversal candle, it'll be the second attempt at a Gartley buy pattern. The first attempt failed. I'll show you that here momentarily. So here's the A to B. I'm just going to copy that and we'll paste it over to the C level. Try to. Pretty sure we can do that. There we go. And so you see the 1-to-1, which actually completed and gave us a confirmation here at 4 a.m. because that was a little bullish piercing candle. That failed. And then as we came into the 9 o'clock session, failed because price closed below the support level established by that bullish piercing candle. But right now you can see you've got a bullish engulfing candle. So if you get another bullish reversal signal at 2 p.m., that would suggest a move up towards this oscillator and change line. That would be the bottom of its profile as well. That would be 41.22. So that might be a place to try to sell the market, perhaps. And if we take a look at the, I already had that A to B equals CD pattern in the 4-hour time frame chart. The 4-hour time frame chart, which completed a candle at 10 a.m., that was a bullish piercing candle. So that suggests a run to the 41.15, 41.07, 41.15 level. If price can close above 41.15, you've got a battle at 41.25 and 41.43. The 2-hour time frame chart, that formed a buy the D point pattern. I think that low was, no. So just a buy the D point pattern. Same thing on the 60-minute. Rhodes momentum indicator signal on the 30. Same on the 15. Same on the 10. So we know that price is trying to or attempting to form some type of at least short-term bottom out here. The confirmation of that, I would say, would be at least one area, a key resistance level failing. That would be that 40.96 level on the ES mini. That is the TD9 count breakdown here, which we can see on a 15-minute basis. You had a Rhodes momentum indicator bottom. Price gets right up to that breakdown level, 40.96. While it's doing that, it is forming a TD9 count top. Now, what that also has done is that's taken price right back to support the oscillator and change line. Now, it's a red oscillator and change line, so I'm not going to call it a neutral signal, but it's done its work. So what are the other charts doing? Well, if we take a look at a 10-minute chart, it too formed a TD9 count top, 40.97 So that would be another area to be watching, observing. Really, so because of those TD9 count tops, the level that price needs to close above on the ES mini to suggest a further rally would be 4100.75. That's the top of that 15 minutes, the top of the 10-minute TD9 counts out there. So that's what I'd be watching throughout the rest of the morning and early afternoon, and that's what the ES mini charts are telling us. Now, if we take a look at just simply consecutive weeks higher and lower, you can see that last week was week number 2. And last time that we had that was after the week that ended January 13th. Then we had just simply a 1-bar pullback. And so we've got 1-bar pullback right now. Now we could easily get a 2 to 3 or 4 bar pullback out here, but what we're seeing is pretty much natural. These two bar moves up. This is coming off the December lows. 2 bars up, 1 bar down. Here's 2 bars up, consecutive closes. So what we're looking at here is somewhat normal. We'll take a look at volume, maybe at some of the instruments to get a feel for what's going on there. But that's pretty much the ES mini. So when we get back from this break, I think we've got a couple of requests that have come in. Let's get to those so we don't fall behind. And of course, I would love to hear from you at 877-927-6648 or Steve at TFNN.com.
Currencies, commodities, and bond markets are as important as ever right now with how they're driving the volatility in equity markets across the globe, which is why it's a great time to try out Teddy Kegstad's Tiger Forex Report. Teddy Kegstad breaks down the Forex markets every Monday using his 30-plus years of experience as a trading veteran of futures, Forex, stocks, and options. Teddy releases his weekly Tiger Forex Report every Monday morning with coverage of all the major currency pairs, including the dollar index, the euro dollar, pound dollar, dollar Swiss, dollar yen, as well as many more, and he also has weekly coverage of the crude oil market and the 30-year T-bonds, as they both influence Forex markets tremendously. When you sign up for the Tiger Forex Report, you also gain instant access to Teddy's 60-minute webinar archive he just hosted, Forex Strategies and Fundamentals, What is Behind the Tiger Forex Report. For all the details and to start your 30-day Tiger Forex Report subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Welcome back, folks. So we got the Dow up 98, S&P's up 1, NASDAQ 1. The New York Stock Exchange is up 38, NASDAQ is off 72. Russell is just slightly trading to the downside out there. So we got a caller on the line. Let's go out to John in Philly. John, thanks for calling. Thanks for holding. How are you today?
Steve, I'm doing very well. We're, of course, all juiced up about a Philadelphia pending victory come Sunday.
There you go. I'll pull for you. Hopefully that happens.
Steve, you know me. I periodically ask to speak with you about markets in which I suspect intermediate term bull or bear markets are emerging. The objective, of course, is if I can identify one with low risk entry spots, get in. And if, in fact, an intermediate-term market move does occur in the guesstimated direction, I've got in early that I can then, work the bull, work the bear.
Sure.
So this call is in keeping with that. Steve, my market of interest here is wheat. And, of course, here in the United States, there's 3 different wheat futures contracts that are traded, all based upon different grades of wheat grown. My interest is on the largest of the wheat varieties grown in the U.S. That's the Kansas City wheat futures contract.
Yes.
They call that hard red winter wheat. The ticker symbol is KEN3. Could you do your thing and share with us, just with fresh eyes, what you see on the weekly, daily, and shorter-term charts there, please?
Sure, you bet. So if we take a look at the weekly chart, what price is doing right now, John, it's testing resistance. And resistance is the top of its, well, that's interesting. So I use two, as you know, I use two different charting applications, and sometimes we get different data, and that's what I'm looking at right here. But still, the 879 level is the key area, and that's where it's printing at right now. 878.10. Let me get this exact for you here. 878.15. So we're trading just above the top of its, in this chart that we're looking at here, just above the top of its bearish structured weekly profile. So a close above that today would suggest to move up to 974. Now, I'm looking at my other charts as well here. I want to give you another level that you would want to observe because there's a different set of profiles on the black background charts. Still, both of them dealing with this 878-ish area, 879. So a close above that, then, John, you would have some potential resistance at 910. And then at 958, and then that would get you up to 974. So that's the weekly time frame chart that we're taking a look at. Any questions about that? And all that I see out here from really a bottoming standpoint, I think, let me get my cursor. It still may have I think it still has a TD9 count bottom all the way back from July of last year. So any questions about the weekly chart before I move off of it?
No, so far so good.
Okay, perfect. So now we take a look at the daily time frame. That's in our upper left-hand corner here. We'll see a nice Rhodes Momentum Indicator bottom. We'll see how these profiles acted as a support and resistance level. And then finally, Kansas City Wheat had a breakout for the July contract on January the 26th. And now today, on a daily time frame, price is trading above the top of its daily profile. And that's at 869.20. So close above that would also trigger an A to B equals CD up pattern. So if we take a look at what that would generate for us, and I'm just going to give you the approximates out here, but we'll just simply go A to B and just copy that over to the C point out here. Give me a moment, we'll pull it over. And so, John, this would be suggest now blow up the daily time frame chart as well. So this shows us that there's a likelihood that today is going to form an A to B equals CD to the upside. That gives us a price target that takes us right to our TD9 count breakdown level. So it looks to me like 927 is where the daily time frame wants to trade to. And on the weekly chart, it was 910. That would be your next resistance area, if price holds these levels of support out here. So that's what I see on the daily time frame. Any questions about the daily chart?
No, looks good. Thank you.
Perfect. I don't see any issues on the 5-hour chart. Price is trading above profile, which is 869 out there. So close above that is a positive. The 240, the 4-hour chart, that looks good as well. Price is above profile. Price above profile on the 2-hour. The 60-minute chart has a Rhodes Momentum Indicator signal. Don't know whether it will produce a bearish reversal candle here during the next 37 minutes or not. But if it did, that would suggest we might see a pullback. And then that pullback would take us to, or should take us to, about 871.60. Don't have much of a signal yet on the 30. Well, let me open up this 30-minute chart. Take this back. So it was in a consolidation, broke through that consolidation. I don't have any other completed pattern here on the 30-minute chart, so I'm not really clear on what it's communicating to us. When it's not clear, I just simply pass on that.
Right.
Yeah, so John, and I'm not going to get too into the 10 and 15-minute charts out here. So, everything looks pretty good. Obviously, and ideally, you'd close above that 878-ish area out there today. Do you have to? No, but it would be another feather in the cap of this moving higher, which I think is. Are you already in the position?
Yeah, way back from mid to early January.
Excellent. Yeah, it looks good to me. Is there anything that you're spotting that you have concern about that we could pull up or anything, or looks pretty good to me?
Steve, you've answered my questions. I will merely say, of course, this is the crop that's planted in October, sprouts, and goes dormant, just like your grass lawn goes dormant in November. And then it come mid-March in, as weather warms in Nebraska, Oklahoma, Kansas, Texas, it starts to green up and grow. What I will say is there's been extreme drought in that area of the country. And, of course, rains can come and be timely and benefit, the emerging crop. But the weather was so dry last fall, October, November timeframe as they planted and, the seeds were germinating that some fraction of that crop that was planted then just didn't emerge and will not green up, even if there's timely rains. So there is a real potential for a crop loss, supply-driven bull market here. And of course, I emphasize possible, never guaranteed, but that's what's drawn my interest.
Yeah, and like I said, the charts look good. We are in week number 5 of a consecutive move higher. As I just pull this back, and it takes me back to December of 2021, from a weekly standpoint, the largest number of consecutive weekly closes higher is 6 out there. So you could be approaching, next week, some type of short-term pullback out there. So that's the only, but otherwise, profile-wise, everything else looks pretty good. So, John, is there anything else that I can help you with?
Steve, thanks a bunch. You've taken care of my need. Thanks again.
Perfect. Go Phillies. That's for John in Philadelphia. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back. We're going to go take a look at some requests out there, and hopefully we'll have just enough time to go take a look at what does the S&P 500 do if the AFC wins, if the NFC wins, and what's it do after that. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
If you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my Gold Report. The Gold Report is a comprehensive look at the metal sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the Gold Report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, GDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the Gold Report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartleys, ABCs, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. Let's get on to the requests that we have out here. The first one coming from S&P and the Tiger's Den. Let's take a look at Valero. BLO is a ticker symbol. What you like about this today, S&P, is price right now is trading well. It's first with inside a bullish structure profile. It is trading above its green oscillator and change line. You'd love to see this hold at least the 137.73 level today. If it does, odds favor that price should make its way up to the battleground of 145.52. That's where the sellers are located. If I look at a weekly time frame chart, there is a Rhodes Dominion indicator pattern that has been confirmed, but price is above its green oscillator and change line, and therefore its signal gets neutralized. On the monthly chart, things look good here. Price is trading above profile. It's green oscillator and change line. So everything inside Valero looks good. And it should stay above this 137.72 level. The reason why I say that it should, at least at this moment in time, is there is no topping pattern that is in play out here. You are in bar number 4. That does over the course of the next 2.5 hours. You could get a short-term TD9 count top. Don't know. Would have to watch how this trades. But otherwise, everything looks pretty good for Valero. So I do hope that helps you out, and thank you so much for the request. Let's go out to Brent in Martinez, California. Hey, Brent, thanks for calling. Thanks for holding. How are you today?
I'm doing great, Steve. How are you?
Excellent. Thank you very much for asking. And the ticker symbol that we're going to take a look at is AG. I believe that is Majestic Gold, or is that First Majestic? Silver.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, silver.
Perfect. Okay. Perfect. So tell me what you're doing out here and how I can best help you.
Well, I heard your comments at the top of the hour about silver, so I'm kind of watching that. And then on this stock, I don't have the chart in front of me, but I believe, at least on the daily and potentially on the weekly, there was a break of the swing point on the way down that would confirm a AB equals CD, and I don't remember the exact number, but if you could look at that, and then if there's anything at that level that would make sense to potentially buy it.
Sure. So the A to B pattern out here that we're drawing in, folks, it's really going from the high that Brent's referring to from November 15th down to the low that formed on December 19th. Now, I'm just going to simply take that line and I'm going to transfer it over to where the C point starts. The C point happened to be the day of January the 10th. We can see that price has now exceeded the 1-to-1 level, and what Brent would be waiting for here is a bullish reversal candle. I do have a wave number 7 pattern that we're in, but that needs a higher low to confirm that pattern. We are only in bar number 6, so from a TD9 count, there's nothing to pay attention to for a few trading sessions out here. So yeah, you've got the A to B equals CD pattern. You'd love to see a bullish reversal candle before you would step into this trade on AG and take a look at the daily time frame out there. Weekly time frame prices below support of its red oscillator and change line and its profile levels. That suggests lower price. The monthly chart says that price is moving down to test support of its bullish structured profile, and Brent, that's at about $7.14. If I take a quick peek to see what's going on here on a 30-minute basis, is there any kind of a bottom signal? And the answer is there is not here. So it looks like AG wants to move lower. Doesn't look like this is the time to enter into this position. Is there something that I've shared with you? It sounds like you're out of the office, so to speak. You're in your outdoor office. And but is there anything you can think of that you also wanted me to take a look at for you on AG?
I think that's it. Is there any other TAS levels or anything on the I guess you just gave the one on the monthly. Is that kind of the last of those that are support?
That is the monthly time frame. So the other thing that I'll point out to you here, Brent, is if you take a look at the GDX, which obviously this is First Majestic is one of the components. The GDX and the XAU yesterday completed a TD9 count bottom. Now, in the GDX, that says that if price closes below yesterday's low, which is 29.59, that pattern gets negated right away. Now, if that pattern gets negated right away, it tells us about a strong momentum move to the downside. The caution sign or the however here is that 29.25 is a breakout level. It's a TD9 count breakout level. So that could act as support. I would say if we get a close above yesterday's low and we take out 29.25, the signal is pretty clear that the mining stocks are headed lower. So I just want to throw that out there, even though you could get, because there are some stocks, some mining stocks that still have some pretty decent bottoms, or at least they did as of this morning out there. But just want you to pay attention to that as well. Silver's got the TD9 count bottom. Gold does not. So
okay, no, that's great. That's great information. I appreciate it.
Yeah, a bunch of moving parts here. And the other piece that I would throw out there, Brent, is and to pay attention to, at least at this moment in time, is still the U.S. dollar index. And the U.S. dollar index is, had a nice little rally. In fact, it's got a nice confirmed Rhodes momentum indicator bottom. There was a new profile that formed yesterday, as a matter of fact, and price traded within that entire range. And that range is 102.58 to 103.53. The point that I really want to make here with regard to the U.S. dollar index is that if it closes above the high from February 7th, that high, is 103.85. That's going to confirm, or could confirm, an A to B equals CD to the upside. And if that's what we get from the U.S. dollar index, I don't know whether we will. Right now we're trading right up at the resistance level at the top of its profile. But if we did get that, that probably puts the kibosh on mining equities and maybe even metals for 2 weeks or 2 months. So that's
that makes perfect sense. Yeah, and honestly, the stock makes me a little hesitant. If you look at its chart, and then the other ones that are, like a Pan American or any of the other silver mining companies, they don't look anything like this one. So is this another Great Panther or something that's got issues? That I have to keep looking at it.
Well, but so you brought up Pan American Silver, so I'm going to get that chart here populated, and it negated its TD9 count bottom yesterday. And it's trading below its breakout level. So odds favor that Pan American Silver is headed back towards the 1596, 1602 level. If it crushes through those, then it says it's likely to head back to its most recent lows from back in November out there. So the big silver stock, Pan American Silver, blew. Let me see if it. Well, it's hard to say if it's really an A to B equals CD to the downside because it was a pretty shallow retracement. But it took out a hammer candle that had volume of 3 million shares. Yesterday was 3.1 million shares. So it's. I think we might be in for a 2 week to 2 month pullback inside of the entire metals complex. So we'll keep an eye on this.
Sounds like it. I think patience is in order.
Totally. Very, very much so. So, there's moving parts here. We just have to see, who wins these battles out there. But I just would offer caution at this stage.
No, I appreciate all that additional information, Steve. Just have yourself a great day and enjoy your weekend.
I will. You do the same. That was Brent in Martinez, California. Let's go to our next request out here. The next request coming in from Dan, I believe it was, who wanted to take a look at Fuel Cell. FCEL is the ticker symbol. And Dan, what we have right now is no bottom pattern other than price pulling back and testing its bullish structured profile. And at the moment, at 1137, it's a bullish hammer candle. Does that mean anything? It means more at the end of a pattern. We still would use it if it were to form a hammered candle. We won't know until the end of the day out here. But at least support is holding. And support is at 347. If I look at a weekly chart out here for Fuel Cell, I don't see much that would assist us. Nor do I on the monthly time frame. So it's really all about the daily chart. Support is held. So if that support is held, what's it doing on a 30-minute time frame chart? And look, folks, 30 minutes is not the ultimate. I'm just not putting up all of the intraday time frames out here. But so to speak, it looks to me like on a 30-minute chart for a Fuel Cell, doesn't look like it's got an A to B equals CD pattern that is completed. But let's go test that out by just simply moving that A to B stick over to the C point. Yeah, it hasn't really completed that. But if price closed above 352, Dan, that's the top of its 30-minute profile. It'd be suggesting a potential move up to the 377-ish area out there. So I hope that provided you with the information that you were looking for on Fuel Cell Technologies. We'll go out to our next request, which I believe is from Uber. Not from Uber, it's from Fletch, who wants to take a look at Uber. Then we're going to take a look at First Solar, and a ticker symbol called NET, the XLE for Hector, and GEO for Lars. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
The technology around us is changing every day. With so much happening, it can seem impossible to keep up with all the information. David White's investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, is designed to give you all the information you need to understand the technology that shapes today's markets and tomorrow's future. David White has made his living staying on the cutting edge of technology. His weekly newsletter will give you specific recommendations for value tech stocks, as well as entry prices, target prices, and stops to set for each trade. Dave delivers his weekly newsletters every Friday with updates throughout the week. You can get the Technology Insider at TFNN.com for only $37.50. Sign up for David's newsletter, The Technology Insider, and get an inside look at everything the technology sector has to offer. Try it risk-free today with our 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foresight Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Welcome back, folks. Dow's up 83, S&P's off 4, NASDAQ 100 down 107. We're taking a look at the stock chart here for Uber, which today has pulled back and is testing a key level of support, and that happens to be its green oscillator and change line, printed out at 34.03 at the moment. If price were to close below that, Fletch, then you'd be looking to move down to 32.09. I don't have a topping pattern other than this. Well, let's see if there's an A to B equals CD. Yeah, there's certainly an A to B equals CD pattern is out here. So today's gap to the downside is confirming a sell the D point pattern. And you're back below now the top of a daily profile out here. That's for Uber. Let me just make sure that is correct. Speed it up. Yeah, you're below the top of the profile out there. So it's really a neutral signal right now. Let's look at what the other charts are telling us with regard to Uber. On the weekly chart, well, now this looks pretty good. If Uber can close above, that's pretty cool. If it can close above 34.41, you're at 34.58, you'll take out a TD9 count, a resistance level. And let's see, the week of September 16th, 186 million shares. And so far this week, we are at 268. You're going to get potentially an A to B equals CD to the upside. So it would look like this. I'll just draw on the A to B point out there approximately. We'll move that over to the C point out here. And that says, well, it's almost completing it already. So the 37.96 or thereabouts was its price target. You've kind of gotten up to there. That doesn't mean that it's over. Close above 34.41 today would be a positive. Now 38.10 is going to be a resistance point out here, as is the top of the daily profile at 37.58. So sum it up, Stevie, for Fletch out there. You know what, Fletch? Price pulled back to support. What was it going on a 30-minute chart? TD9 count bottom that formed out here. So you'll want to watch with regard to the direction of the day. If price closes below on a 30-minute basis, 34.05, that tells you this would want to go lower. Whereas what should happen is price should make its way up to the 35.75 level. So that's what I see when I take a look at the charts for Uber. I hope that helps you out. You've got some key levels to be watching, observing, and thank you so much for the request, and have a fantastic weekend. The next request coming in from G-Man wants to take a look at really two instruments. G-Man, I'm going to take a look at one first, which is First Solar, and I'll try to get back to the net position for you. So I take a look at First Solar out here. What is it doing? Well, it's been trading for 3 sessions. In fact, today could be the 4th session below the bottom of its profile. So that's not really a great scene out here, but it hasn't given us any other signal as to what its intent is. So let's look at the weekly chart. The weekly chart has a confirmed Rhodes momentum indicator top. That formed out here the week of January 20th, and then again last week. We're trading. So if this is just a counter trend move to the downside, then where price should find support. So this helps us out to understand what's going on the daily. Remember, this is a bearish structured profile. It didn't close above for 2 bars out there. All right, so we'll cut it a little bit of slack out here. If it's just a counter trend move to the downside, 162.08 is the support level. So I would say then, G-Man, if price closes below 162.08, that's signaling to you that its intent is to get back to 138.87. I believe you were looking to go long. So we don't have a signal to go long just yet. I think you've got to be patient, watch and observe, and we'll just simply go from there. So I hope that helps you out, G-Man. As always, thank you so much for the request. The next request coming in from, did I get to the, got to there. Just one thing here, folks. There we go. Okay, good. So we'll set up for that. And then one more out here, if I can get that going. There we go. Okay. So if you give me a moment here, what we're going to do is we're going to switch panels. I'm going to go to the black background charts because that's going to help us answer the question for Hector and Patty. And they're taking a look at the XLE. So we're going to move over to the black background charts. We're going to go to the tab that has our 3 panels on it. And we're just simply going to expand out the daily time frame. And Hector and Patty's question this morning is as follows. Well, I'm really paraphrasing here. But basically, Hector's asking, if I use the February 6th low as an A point, and then as a B point, the high from 2 days ago, February the 8th, and then to pull back into yesterday, which was a 47% move of that A to B leg, if price closed above 88.73, is that an A to B equals CD pattern? The answer is yes. Now, that trading day, that is the trading day of February 8th, did volume of 13.5 million shares. You're at 9 million shares right now, 2 hours of trading. So it does appear that XLE is going to give you on a daily basis a short term, at least at this stage of the game, A to B equals CD to the upside, with 90.50 being the TD9 count top and 90.96 being the 1-to-1 price projection level. Ordinarily, a move that only has retracement to Hector and Patty of 47%, odds favor that it does more than a 1-to-1 A to B equals CD. And so that suggests to you and I what the energy sector may be doing is targeting its most recent swing high, January 26. Now, that did volume of 18 million shares. And this week we're only at 8.9. So ideally it doesn't get up there and test that today because you'd be on light volume out there. But right now, yes, it's an A to B equals CD to the upside. And again, that 90.96 area looks to be a price target out there. So thank you for the question, and best of luck to you, and have a fantastic weekend. The next question, again, coming in from G-Man. G-Man wanted to we're going to change panels here. First, I'm going to get over to the right spot. I think that's the right spot. That is, and we're going to change panels. Ticker symbol that we're looking at here is NET. And NET is probably a cloud flare. No, I don't think. I think we went through this before. I think eSignal has it cloud, but whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Here's what we know about NET, cloud something or other. It's traded in today. It's traded into a swing point from February 2nd. That swing point had volume of 10 million shares. This week, I don't have the volume turned on. This week, it's already 10 million shares. So you're pushing into a swing with volume. So even if it closes back below that level, what this is telling us is price wants to retest that swing point. Now, it could be just the bottom of the swing point. So it could be 59.79. Odds favor, and now price closes inside it with volume, then it's going to get all the way back up to the top of that swing area, and that's at the 60.01 level. You've got a TD9 count top. There we go. So I see that now. That's the swing that we're talking about, February 20th. So you get a TD9 count top. What's price do? It pulls back and it tests the first level of support. Happen to be the top of the profile. So what you know out here, G-Man, is that 56.21 is a real key level of support. So whether you get in this position or not, you're looking at it from a long standpoint. Do I see the reward risk to get into it at this moment? I don't. On a pullback, sure. A pullback to where? Well, I think we've kind of covered that. The first area I'd be looking at would be 56.21 as the area. And I'd look to a 30-minute chart or some other short-term time frame chart to see as price gets back to support, what's going on the short-term basis. Is the short-term charts, are they confirming that price should move off of that or not? So that's what I see when I take a look at net, but it looks pretty good, other than that TD9 count top. And that says that it closed above that high. I believe it was 66.01. No, it was 65.51. A close above 65.51, and this thing would be off to the races. Races being 71, 77, and then above 71, you'd be looking at 76.18, and above that, 99.02. So I hope that helps you out, G-Man, with regard to net. Next request coming in from Lars. He wants to take a look at, let's see if we get to this pretty quickly here. He wants to take a look at GEO. I believe these are the GEO right now. It's trading above the top of its profile. It's trading back into a swing point here for the trading session of December the 1st. That had volume of 3.1 million shares. You're trading into it today with the million shares. Yesterday, you were trading into a 6 million shares. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Everything in the universe is governed by the Fibonacci sequence. This mathematical principle is responsible for everything from the most aesthetically pleasing artwork to patterns in the stock market. To stay on top of stock patterns you can take advantage of, sign up for the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter at TFNN.com. When you subscribe, you'll get a weekly report from veteran day trader Larry Pesavento on stocks you need to pay attention to. And you can trust Larry's analysis. After all, he's got 45 years experience as a day trader. Larry will also provide daily charts, videos, and data on the key markets that he's tracking. Expect notifications from Larry on market movement you need to act on at any time. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. Subscribe to the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter today. TFNN.com, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. Let's finish off GEO. And Lars is long, and Lars, you should stay long. Now, I want you to take a look at the weekly chart. That's the center panel. Forms a nice TD9 count bottom. That identified the bottom back in March of 2022. Then you get up here and you get a TD9 count top. That happened in the first couple of weeks of December out there. Now, that top, and you hear me say this all the time, should then lead to a test of its oscillator and change line. Well, that's exactly what has happened. Prices continue to find support at that. The weekly chart tells about strong momentum to the upside. Your signal here on the weekly is neutral. So everything else here in GEO looks good. Monthly looks good. The daily looks good out here. You're just dealing with that TD9 count top and then daily resistance out there. So stay with the trade, at least as of 11:54 in the morning. The last question is from Danny from New York City. His question goes like this. He wants to know about our thoughts for the day, the remaining part of the day here for the Dow. So what's the Dow going to do? Here's what I'm going to share with you, what you should be watching for, and we'll just simply open up this 15-minute chart. So you're an intraday trader, clearly, and if price can close above this TD9 count top that formed on a 15-minute basis, that high out there, so it's a 15-minute high you'd be looking for, and close, is above 33,851. If price closes above 33,851, well, we should see a further move higher. That next move higher should take us to 33,940. I'd have to see what's going on at 33,940 to figure out what might be going on next. But first, that's the first thing that must take place. Likewise, if price closes below 33,750, then the signal would likely be a move back to 33,635 to 33,545. So we're basing all of that on a 15-minute time frame chart. The reason is because I don't have any other real good signals here from any of the other time frames that would help us out. If you look at the 2-hour time frame chart, that could be signal to move up to 33,946. Well, could be. So what we know is we had a much easier way to analyze this, and that's just watch for the short-term top out there. And if price can clear that, that would suggest at least a further rally. Whether it lasts throughout the day, that's a tough one for me to say. Danny from New York City, so hopefully that helps you out. Folks, have a fantastic weekend. Be safe out there. Enjoy the Super Bowl. And we'll see you on, we didn't get a chance to go through those Super Bowl charts. What a bummer. Well, we'll have to do that on Monday after we know who won. Then we'll figure out what is the S&P supposed to do from there, depending on whether it's the NFC or the AFC. Folks, have a fantastic weekend. We'll see you on Monday.